Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening in to Ways to Love Your Money. I'm Elisabeth Dawson, your host, and I have a really great guest and another dear friend of mine today. This is Mr. Scott Brooks, and he's one of the top financial advisors in the country and one of the top trainers of fiduciaries in America. We've talked about fiduciaries on the show. These are things where people need people that are going to work for them. So it's goals-based planning for individuals. I'll let Scott talk a little bit more about that too. And as a matter of fact, he's one of my mentors, and most importantly, he's a great friend and a great guy. So Scott, thank you so much. We were talking the other day, and you were really driving home the fundamentals and key retirement components that we need to be able to share with people. Would you mind taking a few minutes to talk about some of those areas that we would talk about for retirement?
Yeah, Elizabeth. First of all, how you doing? You're looking wonderful today.
Thank you. Thank you. You look great as well.
So, all right. So when we teach college courses all over the country, we drive home the 5 keys to a successful retirement. There's many keys, but here's the 5 that I'm going to talk about today. First of all is understanding the concept that losses hurt you more than gains help you.
Very
the
important.
Second concept.
Yes, very important key.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
Second is that when it comes to retirement, income is king in retirement. The 4 cornerstones of a foundational retirement plan are income, 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 and income. Build your financial house on income. Making sure that you take your Social Security properly is incredibly important, and so many people take this for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure you strive to pay the least amount in taxes, and all of this must be put together in a comprehensive written retirement financial plan.
Well, Scott, thank you for sharing those pieces because we need to elaborate on those. Can you actually share more information about each of those areas?
Yeah, so look, I know we have a limited amount of time today, so let me just kind of cut to the chase with a few of these here. Look, if you've been a good saver, if you've managed to save more than, say, $1 million in your life, you have options and things you can do and take advantage of that regular people and most people simply don't have the option to take advantage of. And you need to take advantage of these. For instance, things you could do like paying fewer taxes, paying lower taxes on your 401k, your IRAs, and other things. Making sure you reduce your taxes on your Social Security. And here's a biggie, making sure you keep your Medicare premiums down. You don't double your premiums on Medicare. And look, there's so many other things I could talk about here. And just none of this happens automatically. Look, Elizabeth, to take advantage and do these types of things, you have to take action. You have to act on them. So why don't you tell them some of the things that we have in store for them, Elizabeth, if you don't mind, that they can take advantage of some of these things to make sure they pay.
I think it's really important even to elaborate on a few of those different pieces as well, which I think is so important. Sure. Even just trying to make the right financial decisions when it comes to Social Security and when to take it. You and I have talked about this, that there's like 10,000 different ways that you can actually take Social Security. It is just, mind altering because of the fact that we just don't know how to make that kind of a decision. And there's really very few resources where people can go get that knowledge. I think also when you're talking about Medicare and the cost of Medicare, and so many people think, well, gosh, it shouldn't be that high. Well, in some situations when someone retires with a higher income before they retire, their Medicare premiums are going to be higher. They might modify later, but it's very rare that they do. So it's getting those pieces, that knowledge. And I know that what we want to offer people is truly an opportunity to have a net worth analysis and help make these decisions. And so one of the pieces that we want to say is a net worth risk analysis, and that net worth risk analysis is going to be so key. And so for the next 10 people that call into our offices at 619-640-2622, we will do at no cost for you an analysis of where your risk really lies in affecting your net worth and what you really want it to become. So take action on some of these pieces because these are where we're going to work as a team to make sure you get successfully to your end goal, which is a happy retirement, staying retired, and not having to go back to work. So, Scott, what should we talk about next? Let's talk about
something that people just seem to think is a given, but they don't understand it's not a given. You just mentioned Social Security, okay?
Yeah.
This seems so simple, right? So when you think about Social Security, it's like you get 3 choices, early retirement, full retirement age, and maximum benefit at age 70, right?
Okay.
People think that's the way it is. As you mentioned, there's over 10,000 different ways to take it. Look, taking Social Security properly takes time and effort to figure out how to do it. All right.
Right.
Can I give you just a couple examples of this?
Sure.
We saw a gentleman recently, okay, who came to our office and they had decided to delay taking their Social Security so they
Okay.
could get a higher benefit later. And for many people,
Mm-hmm.
that's the right thing to do. But for this person, let me tell you what happened to him. For this particular person, by delaying their Social Security benefits, what ended up happening to them was by taking them later, yes, they got a higher benefit, but here's what happened. That caused them to pay more taxes than they would have had to pay if they had taken it earlier.
Wow.
It decreased their net worth over time because they spent money out of their nest egg early they didn't have to spend. But here's the kicker. All right, because their income went up, it caused them to have to pay more money on their Social Security. It caused them to pay extra taxes on their Social Security. It also caused them to increase their Medicare premiums. Now what they have to do is they have to take more money out of their investments to pay those increased Medicare premiums. Now, they got to pay extra taxes on that extra money coming out to pay those Medicare. And on top of that, that extra money they took out put them in a higher tax bracket. It didn't have to be
Wow,
that way,
that is
Elisabeth.
exactly the opposite of what people think today. You know, that's exactly the opposite of what people think. They think the longer I wait and that 8% growth from my full age of Social Security to age 70 is going to give them more payout. And, you know, when you do the break even, you know, I just met with a client recently too, and he said, well, you know, taking it at full age of Social Security at 66 for him versus 70, and he really wanted to take it at 70. He did the math, and I verified the math, that he'd have to live to age 82 just to get it. But now what I'm even hearing from you, which I think is profound, is that you're even saying if they actually choose to take it later, that they're having to take more assets from their nest egg to be able to supplement so that they can wait to take it. And they may never, you know, they're going to have all these additional taxes and they may never break even. They may never break even because their net worth is going to completely start to shrink. And again, we've talked about this so many times that the distribution phase of money when someone gets to retirement is so different than the accumulation phase where we're just trying to save for it and we're still at hard working for it. So I'm so glad that you bring these things up. I know what we want to talk about here is that we want to be able to offer an analysis about Social Security and the right way for you to take that Social Security. And if you want to do that, we do have 5 steps that we would be taking. So a 5-point Social Security assessment that we would do. And yes, the next 10 people, if you want to call in, if you're past 10 people, we still want you to get this information. But give us a call at 619-640-2622. We'll be happy to help you with this, because of the fact that there are way too many decisions out there for you to make without having the facts in front of you. And every single person's situation is so different than your neighbor, than your brother, than your sister, than your parents, especially different than your parents. So be mindful of this. Take advantage of, you know, making that call to action for you to say, I want to know about what the best way is for me to take my Social Security. I don't want my Medicare premiums to go up. I don't want my taxes to go up. And everyone thinks that they know what their plan is, but they need a bigger plan because they're making maybe the wrong decisions in their life. So with that said, what do we want to talk about next, Scott?
Well, let's just touch on everybody's favorite subject.
Okay.
Taxes.
Taxes. Okay.
Right. Everybody loves taxes. No, we don't. No, we don't. So look, what I want to talk about with taxes here is something that retirees overlook, and it costs them so much money.
Yes.
You want to make decisions today. I'm going to rephrase it. You want to make correct decisions today, okay, that cause you to pay less taxes in the future. Now, to pay less taxes in the future, it's about what we call asset location. Now, we've all heard about asset allocation, right?
Can you elaborate on asset location, not allocation, just to make sure that there's a differentiation with that?
Yeah, so asset allocation is putting, you know, your money in different baskets, your eggs in different baskets. Right?
Sure.
But asset location has to do with where your assets located now. Give you an example. You and I both love 401ks. They're wonderful, right? People save so much money, they build up such a wonderful nest egg. But what most people don't realize is that for many, many people, putting money in a 401k plan, although it feels good because you save money today on taxes, if you put too much money in there, you're setting yourself up for a tax time bomb in the future as you're forced to take money out of this account. As you're forced to take money out of this account, it can push you. And here's what throws people in such a curve. It pushes people into a higher tax bracket when they're retired. See, people think they're going to be in a lower tax bracket.
You know, that's a staggering statement that you're saying, Scott, because that statement alone says that it's the opposite of what people believe to be true, because when they get into, let's say, their 50s or getting close to retirement at 60, 65, maybe they're younger and retiring, they're trying to put in as much as they possibly can into that 401k or that 403b or that TSA or TSP plan. And what you're saying is the opposite of that truth, saying if you're doing that, you're setting yourself up for a financial tax time bomb. That is scary for people to even think that that's a possible concept. Why do you think that it's the opposite? Can you validate that?
Yeah, it's really simple, because people like the idea of saving money on taxes now. They can see it, they can feel it
Yes.
now. They just simply don't realize how much more they're going to pay in taxes later. Think about it this way. In the palm of my hand right here, let's just say I'm holding some corn seeds. I'm in the Midwest, right? So we know
Okay.
about corn here. Right? You got some corn in your hand here, right?
Mm-hmm.
What people want to do is they say, I don't want to pay taxes on this corn right now. I want
Yeah.
to plant that corn. And they plant that corn and it grows into a giant field of corn filled with corn. And then they have to pay taxes on all that corn. As opposed to, if they handle it properly, they can say, I'm going to pay some taxes on this corn today, this little bit of corn in my hand today.
Yes.
And then I can plant that,
Yes.
and I can either grow it tax-free, or I can grow it at a much lower tax rate in the future. Arrange yourself today, arrange your financial affairs today so that you pay the right amount of taxes and pay the least amount of taxes over your lifetime.
Well, I think it's so important that you say that. I mean, it's so powerful because most people out there, they want tax-free money. They just don't necessarily know how to get it, right? But if you're thinking about something logical, I remember, I don't know, maybe about 6 months ago, I sat down with a gentleman and he said, well, I don't have any other places that I can put money in my investments other than my 401k. Just that misconception is such a false misconception for someone to think about, that they only have one resource to put money in the market or money saved for them or money in anything. And this is really what the show is all about. It's bringing more awareness. It's bringing more education, bringing more situations that they can actually learn from. So I know what we're talking about here too, because we're talking about some steps to doing a better tax analysis for people to be able to make sure that their dollars and cents really come out the right way. Have you ever wondered, how do people get away with paying fewer taxes than anyone else? How do they do that? We will show you exactly what these strategies are and how you could potentially save tens of thousands of dollars in taxes with our tax reduction analysis. This tax reduction analysis is customized, and it's an analysis that you can quickly learn about. These strategies could help you save thousands of dollars with your IRA, your 401k, and other retirement accounts. This is an overlooked opportunity, especially with the Trump tax plan, that could be a financial windfall for you. So plus this, we have, how you could avoid or minimize paying taxes on your Social Security benefits. This is so key. Some advisors may charge you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for a customized analysis, but we won't charge you a dime. So this is something where you can actually learn how to qualify to be, one of our first 10 callers at 619-640-2622, and that's 619-640-2622. Without further ado, let's kind of talk about the next subjects. We know that we need to have a full written financial retirement plan. So how does that work in the world that you come from, and why is that so important?
Yeah, well, it's like anything else. When you do a plan, it needs to be in writing, right? You need to look at how each of these parts that we've talked about today, how they work together, all right? You don't look at individual things like taxes or Social Security or asset location individually. You have to put them together in a plan so that you maximize your plan, so you maximize your life. Look, this is a concept that we teach at over 50 universities all across the country. Elisabeth, you teach these concepts at universities in Southern California right now.
Yeah.
So as a surprise to Elisabeth, I know I mentioned this to you right before we came on air, so I'm going to announce it here. This one-night college course that we teach, right? One-night college course to teach, as a special gift to you and your listeners, we're going to give the first 15 people who call free tuition for this one-night course.
Well, that's pretty incredible, Scott. Wow for this opportunity for people. Wanting to learn about retirement and financial planning is so important, but Scott couldn't have said it better by saying that, gosh, if you're looking at things on an individual basis and not looking how they integrate and how they coordinate, that's so important. If you have saved at least $500,000, you can attend this course. But the number one thing to do is if you call to attend, you're welcome to call out to 619-640-2622, or you can email us at questions@Elisabeth.Dawson.com. But be one of our first 15 callers, and you can get your tuition waived for this one-night course. And I teach these on a regular basis each and every month. So get more awareness, get more knowledge, because again, this is about empowering the future so that we can make better financial decisions. So Scott, thanks so much for you being on the show with us. We're so grateful for your time, your generosity, and just your projection of what's so important. And I think if the listeners are really taking something home, it's about integrating and coordinating all of their financial resources, doing them as a whole, getting professional guidance. If they're do-it-yourselfers, they think that they've got it all planned, but they should still get that second opinion. Just like if we had a medical situation and had a diagnosis, we would want to have that second opinion, right? We take that in perfect, sense of urgency style, but when it comes to financial planning, or it comes to college planning, or it comes to a health event in someone's life, what they're thinking about is, oh gosh, I've got to deal with this first, and it's total procrastination. So taking action, not sitting on it, don't be a procrastinator, and then the 4 cornerstones of retirement, which I know we didn't talk as much on, but it's so powerful. It's income, 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 income. And why is income so important? Well, income is so important because of the fact that if you don't have income coming in each and every month to accomplish your goals, to accomplish your dreams, to accomplish your desires, or if life just happens, what happens to you? So the sacrifices that we make today, but the smart decisions we make today, are going to turn around and pay us dividends when we actually want to slow down. If you don't ever want to retire, that's your choice, but you should have the option and the decision to be able to decide to retire. It's about having those resources and that income coming in as if you're earning that check each and every month, and it just keeps on coming in like clockwork, no matter how long you live. And that is a very delicate design. But all of these things that are coming up at us at once for retirement planning, whether you're 10 years off, 5 years off, or you just retired last week, it's about taking all those pieces into accord so and you can make the best financial decisions of your lifetime now, because when you retire, you only retire once. So if you haven't retired once before, you don't want to make any bad decisions, because again, statistics are even showing us today that people are having to go back to work in retirement. It's almost 30% of the population is using that money to have to go back to work just to earn those resources to live the life that they deserve to live. But when we retire, we shouldn't have to go back to work. It should be based on our own empowerment. So again, take advantage of the analysis that you can do, the Social Security, the 5 steps to making the right decision out of 10,000 decisions that you can make, the net worth analysis and your risk analysis on how your investments and everything are looking. Could that steer you off course and derail you from being able to make the best financial decisions in the world? So you want to be able to be a powerhouse when it comes to making the right decisions, and you want a great team to support you. That team needs to support you in every financial decision that you make. And you need to feel that you have peace of mind at the end of the day, that you can say, no matter what happens, I know how to keep myself on this roadmap that we're going on to success. So I hope that you have heard something that you've never heard before, and it's feeling that you're making yourself empowered and you want to take action. The worst thing you can do is procrastinate on your dreams of your future. So take the time and the initiative to get more education, more knowledge, and again, reach out to us with any questions or any analysis that you'd like us to do at 619-640-2622. We look forward to seeing you soon. The information provided in this show is for informational and educational purposes only. This show is not investment advice, nor is it intended to address the financial needs of any particular viewer. The opinions expressed on this show are not intended to be an endorsement of any particular investment, strategy of service, or any other kind. You must make an independent decision regarding investments or strategies mentioned throughout the show. Before acting on information in the show, you should consider whether it is suitable for your particular situation and strongly consider seeking advice from a financial advisor. Bye.